In Moose Jaw Public Schools, teachers are recognizing the need to involve students in assessment. Traditionally, assessment has been the sole responsibility of the teachers. Teachers now realize that students are the true owners of learning and need to have a say in that process. Many classrooms are experiencing a shift away from conventional methods of assessment of learning to processes which target assessment for learning. Students are presented with opportunities to be directly involved with their own assessment that is designed to help students learn more. From developing rubrics to student-led conferences to planning their next learning targets, students are being challenged to become more involved with their learning.
About how far your writing has come from the beginning of the year till now, thinking about the things that we have covered, like
Elaine Taylor and Lisa Johnson Neufeld teach grades 3 and 4 at École Ross School. In an attempt to place more ownership on students, both teachers have encouraged students to identify areas of strength and weakness. The intent is not only to have students recognize their current level of achievement, but to use this data to determine their learning goals for the future.
These children have decided what their areas of strength are and their areas of improvement and some goals that they'd like to work on from now to the end of the year. This is Kyle and this is Ty. Let's start out with our areas of strength. And Ty, can you share with us some areas that you think you're strong at in school?
Speaking, math, gym, add things in class conversations, and speaking French.
Very good, I agree, Ty.
And I have a good eye for detail, and I like to add things in class discussions as well.
This year in term 2, I would like to have neater handwriting, learn to spell in English.
I would like to remember to revise and edit more.
As well as Ty, good job. What are your goals for this term?
Keep on reading, challenge myself to memorize division, practice typing when I'm at Peacock waiting for my mom's basketball practice to end.
Great.
I'd like to concentrate on division more, and I'd like to recheck my spelling, and I think to revise and edit more.
Okay, more section. How would you like your parents to help you achieve your goals?
Practice division at a red light or driving somewhere. Encourage me to write more letters to people in handwriting and revise and edit my agenda.
for concern. As I mentioned, I think that there's room for improvement in our cause for concerns, and I think
Jennifer Hodgson is a grade 8 teacher at William Grayson School. She's been involving students in the development of rubrics for the purposes of greater learning. Several times a year, Jennifer invites students to participate in creating a rubric for project-based learning.
I'm hoping that we'll come up with a rubric that will help you when you're going through. Today what we're going to do is we're going to come up with just a very simple rubric as to what sorts of things you're looking for, what sorts of things I'm looking for, so that we're more consistent with our ideas.
I think I use rubrics to have more consistency between, with marking, between what they think that they need and what I think they need. It brings consistency to that.
Yes, I think it is important because it helps you understand what you want in a level.
Then you get to have a part in what you want to be evaluated on.
Well, I think they feel they're involved in the process. I think that they feel that they're essentially creating what their end product is going to look like. You know, you start with the end in mind and then work your way down rather than doing the product or the project and then, you know, guessing at what your mark's going to be. There's not as much of that gap of guessing.
Staring at one person the whole time, like you're looking at everybody and making sure they know what you're talking about.
Good. That absolutely nothing is completed, or it may mean something else. Jenny?
That you can't judge on what they've done.
I can't tell if they've reached their goal from what they've done. That's right. Good. I think it's a way to sit down with them if there are questions about their evaluation and discuss it with them and say, do you think you're a 4? Do you think you're a 3 and why? And we can go through each point. It's laid out and it's easier to use for them. And then I don't really have to be there to explain the project. They have it right in front of them and it's obvious to them. There's no surprises.
and think about responses to question and what we've put on the board over there, and we will finish that up another day. So, good job.
We started out by having a pre-test and realizing that we are missing a lot of our basic foundational objectives according to the curriculum. So what we did then is we started back from scratch with Mrs. Fern, remember?
At Westmount School, Faith Daniels was concerned with her students' understanding of geometry. Faced with the challenge of starting with the curriculum or finding where her students were at, she decided to try something new. Faith began by involving students, identifying learning targets in terms they could understand. Beginning with vocabulary development, Faith and her students built rubrics to help each other feel more comfortable and achieving growth in their learning. Students were eager to work together and quickly became eager to move from beginner levels to more expert levels of understanding.
Yesterday they just chatted the whole time.
Hey, is there any sets of parallels on them?
Rip off the front page if you think that'll help you.
Polygon is has two rules. It has straight lines and it's close. And it's close. And that's straight and that's close. Yeah, it's polygon. And it's regular polygon.
As a teacher, I don't feel really confident, especially in the geometry area. It's been an interesting process because I'm not really confident and I get really nervous trying new stuff. And so when I did the first test, I said to her, like, my God, how do I mark this? I have no answer sheet. I have to have, there's, I don't know how many, 20-some different of these alpha shapes, and how do I come up with an answer sheet that makes it easy for me to mark it so I'm not taking forever to do it? And so then she suggested, well, have the kids look at it, and why don't you go from there and use this as another kind of a pre-test or an assessment of their learning, just for them personally, not really for me, so it's kind of a step of growth along the way. So we did that, and the kids come up with the neatest rubric.
You have an idea of how much you're actually learning, kind of thing?
Some of the vocabulary is not that good.
Tell you what to work towards.
Mostly, what I really loved about it is the kids, the vocabulary they're using, and they're talking together, and they're challenging each other.
Well, it's con, I think so. Oh wait, yeah,
It's neat to me to see it because I've been 5 years here at Westmount. I've never seen kids really get into math, and because the kids are concerned, they want to do better and they want to know how to do better, and that's, I suppose, if anything I've seen, that's what I've seen come from this. They're very concerned at not staying at a beginner level. They realize that they want to move forward, and I'm hoping that we see it transfer in all the other areas, for me as well as for them.
the way we're doing it, we kind of figure out by ourselves, like, that we know we're figuring out what we're doing wrong, and you don't have to have the teacher tell you everything.
It's a whole different way of learning, and the kids are just totally loving it.
So, we're going to make up the exam today because you guys can figure out with your notes exactly what things are going to be on the test.
Students in Laura Fenwick's Biology 20 class play a key role in their assessment. Laura involves her students in deciding on test items. As a regular practice, these Central Collegiate students consider the work they've done and help decide on what's important and how they should best be evaluated. Students feel confident in learning the material and are able to articulate learning targets. Having a voice in the decision-making provides them with motivation and a clearer path for success.
So there's your exam.
It makes it easier to study for the exam because, like she said, you know exactly what you're studying for.
Do you want any multiple choice? Well, it's up to you guys. How many want true or false? 2. How many want multiple choice? So then I would pick, how many multiple choice do you want? 3. Okay, how many cell structures are there, Troy? 15.
Well, she narrows down the information that we need to study so that we can spend time on specific parts rather than just studying our whole unit and wasting our time on parts that we don't even need to know.
I think it gives them an opportunity to analyze or see what information is important. So it's starting to give them a strategy to that, oh, that really isn't all that important. Even though we took it, it's not as important as this, and this. Also, I find it helps for the kids to get success. That they actually, I know that, I can, and then they have more confidence.
I don't know, because you're like kind of smart. But like people who aren't, like me or whoever, it's better to know. Because I'd rather
I like to
know.
feel confident going into the test rather than unsure what's on there and not know what I'm doing. Even though if you did study all your notes, you're not positive you know it.
As the other kids, the quieter kids, see that they can have a voice, that no, we don't want that. Like today's example of no, we don't want the use of the microscope. A couple of the girls that never talk at the front were, no, that would be easy marks. And then they see that, oh, we can contribute and make it our test. I think they make their own exam harder. They cover more content than I do. Yeah, I think the kids are more attentive. My next unit will be even easier to go through because the kids will see and they'll want the next part. Well, this will be the next, and it does. It pushes them to, and they want more evaluation. They want to know where they're at. They want, I guess, reward for what they're doing, and that's what they see it as.
That one, right?
Yes, that's
Student-led conferences may be one of the most positive trends in assessment for learning. Stéphane Gauvin teaches French immersion at École Ross School. He's recently begun using student-led conferences. Parents and students have both responded positively to this method and appreciate how this method shifts the accountability of learning back to the student. Stéphane agrees, and as he puts it, I don't think I'll ever go back to the traditional way.
We didn't retest it this term. Spelling a 5-9 level in English. Now my English spelling level is now at a 6.1. I really like it because you get to sort of make up the interview and put your opinions into the interview.
it puts the onus on the student as well. The student can actually see the improvements because I focus it on keeping concrete data that the student can present to the parents. And I like the fact that I'm kind of out of the picture, that the data's there and there's no refuting it.
I love it. It's our 5th child, and these have been the funnest interviews I've ever been involved in because it's nice to have your child share how he feels, and I think it gives him a sense of pride.
It also takes away the problem of having to leave here and then have another conversation that's not a part of this, and sometimes you're saying, oh, the teacher suggested this, well, you know, and now you're into debate. Well, there's no debate now, you know, we're part of it, he's agreed to it, and he's identified his own issues. I think it's just very, very positive. I mean, this is our 2nd one, and we came away with a different kind of discussion.
So it's been I love it. I don't think I'll ever do it the traditional way again.